The reason I'm underprepared is because the subject of the presentation pretty much. I'll get there, but before, my name is Sercan Altundas. I'm a multidisciplinary software engineer. I have been working on avatars, metaverse-related subjects, machine learning, and game development for over 10 years. And past 6 years, I was at previously Wolf 3D, now Ready Player Me, and worked on our web platform, SDKs, and integration to our partners. And today, I want to talk to you about one of our latest integrations, our first AAA support, in a way, that we work with Ubisoft for their game Just Dance. This is the first installment of this game in VR, and that was quite a hassle for us. And I want to do a technical presentation in a way. I just want to mention some of the technical difficulties we went through and how we overcame them. Firstly, I want to tell you about Ready Player Me, what we do, what kind of products and tool set we have, and why companies need it. Ready Player Me started as a web-based avatar creator, which people could create avatars, take the URL, and download their avatars into different applications where they could use. And over the years, it evolved into a toolset ecosystem where they can manage their assets, the outfits, items, accessories their characters could put on. They can buy, they can sell, and manage these items live in the games and in the studio, in the creator we have. And on top of that, we have a node-based system for creating assets. So you can upload 3D items, juxtapose them, create different outfit sets, edit the textures manually or through AI, and create the outfit sets and items you want that represent your characters in your game style. And finally, how these go into our partners' games and applications are through our SDKs and editors. In the past, we only had web-based editor. People would embed into their video games through iframes or web views. Now we put everything on top of APIs and open sourced it, so any game developer can just register, get access to our tools and APIs, and build a UI based on our API the way they want. It's almost impossible to know that this UI system and the character creator is coming from Ready Player Me. So there is a seamless transition of our avatars into their games. And talking about VR, it is not the first time that we worked with VR when working with Ubisoft, but one of our first and biggest integrations into VR was with VR chat. This was around late 2020, and we switched to, we were firstly making, we started as VR avatars, half-body boost avatars with just hands, and this would what you would integrate into your games. And we decided to go to full-body avatars from there to conquer more space in the games area. And later we were approached by VR chat, and with 2 long months of really hard work, we were able to integrate VR chat, our avatars into VR chat. And this was bringing incredible value to VR chat and VR chat users, because usually when you want an avatar in VR chat, what happens is that you need to get an artist, hundreds of dollars are paid, Blender knowledge, Unity knowledge, putting this into VR chat. All of this is like a lot of information necessary, money spent, and we were able to compress all these things into 5 minutes for free. And it was like a floodgates open for us when we first introduced everything. And from there on, we made lots of VR demos. We were helping developers when necessary integrate our full-body avatars into VR. However, it wasn't our main emphasis, and we didn't spend so much resources and time on actually perfecting it there. Up until this year, because Ubisoft approached us and they told us that they wanted to introduce their first VR installation of Just Dance. Just Dance, the dancing video game that first launched in 2009, and almost every year they were releasing a new version of it with new hit singles, new songs to different platforms. This game was on Nintendo Wii, it was on Kinect, and it was you can use it with your mobile phone, with body tracker. That's just a dancing game. You can use different devices. and it's kind of a, for Ubisoft probably, it was like a big tech research project because they were trying to test all the new technologies in how they can make people use dancing game with all these different tools and all. And finally, they decided to go into VR as well. And this is the first installation of their game. In VR, multiple people can get together, use either body tracking or controllers in multiplayer and dance. And usually how this would happen in the video games is that there was a video feedback filtered with shaders and everything, and you would see that. Or there would be, again, video segments of that dance moves you would try to catch. You can, to me, this game was pretty new. I'm not a dancer or dance game player. I kind of found this in the same space as, I would say, Guitar Hero. So this resembled that to me, but it was about dancing. You catch the right moves and play the game. Ubisoft came to us and they wanted to integrate Ready Player Me avatars into this in Quest, and we, of course, said yes. We started working with them, doing some research, how we could do it the best way possible. And how things started is like we provided them a set of avatars and our SDKs and direct supports to figure out how we can get this full body avatars into their game. So body tracking would be working perfectly. Nobody would have motion sickness, or they would just feel comfortable in the characters they have. And the cool thing is, they wouldn't need to deal with any video tracking or streaming to represent how the game looks and how the moves are, because you do have directly access to 3D models and see what they are doing and pretty much mirror your body on VR and in front of you and have the feedback. It looked really cool. It was fun to work on, but we faced so many technical challenges because we were so into just bringing our avatars into video games and applications. And even though we started as VR avatars, we neglected it for too long. And we had to, put our sleeves up and get into work. And there are three parts of the technical challenges I want to get into. There are so many. I just wanted to group them and mention some of the things that took most of the, let's say, attention and time from us. One of the things was actually working on the rigging. When Ready Player Me started, one of the philosophies we had was keeping it as simple as possible so people can integrate with the knowledge they already have. So we didn't want to introduce any new standards, didn't bring any, didn't want to invent the wheel so people would know what we are working on. The full body avatars rig was Mixamo rig. The whole convention was according to Mixamo's body structure, and people could get any Mixamo animation and use that because this was what was being used out there. Once in a while, big actors, big game companies were coming to us, discussing things, and we were doing custom things for them, but the main body of the thing, body of the partners that we had, they were using what is available out there, and this was it. Once we first started integrating our avatars in full body tracking in Unity, the issues we started having is to a certain degree, it works fine, but when you start making quite aggressive twist motion and all, the mesh would collapse, the arms wouldn't rotate well, or they would just jump sometimes, and it would make it look very, very bad. And one thing we had to do was dividing the arms into multiple bones, so we would have twist bones, and they would also be skinned according to it. So the entire body wouldn't be just rotating from the wrist and the elbow, but it would slowly twist according to the length of the forearm. This helped us get some of the issues like arms collapsing in there, and the biggest problem here was we had a let's say, ledger of items, hundreds of outfits, which has arms in them, and we had to rework all of those. And that would take so much time. We had to work on tools in the backend so we could pretty much reiterate over our 3D assets, apply skinning and bone creation automatically so we wouldn't, our artists wouldn't need to do this one item at a time. And this took some time and research, but at the end, it was working perfectly. why I'm telling this is like, this is one of the things now we know we need to consider next time you are working on a new outfit, new avatar system. You have to keep that in mind. It might go into VR, and you have to be ready to have the bones for twist and have the best visual possible in the hands. And where it takes me is the tooling. Even though we had to create extra tools and processes in the backend to go through all the outfits and bodies and fix them according to it, one of the things we had to do was creating some tools for Ubisoft so their engineers could use with our avatars. Because avatar technology comes from us, the idea was that we are going to give them something just works, and they would build on top of that. And we were not there yet. And we've used Unity's XR tools, Meta's, some of the Meta SDKs to figure out how we can handle everything. You know, the arms and the elbows and the hands would work just fine. We started building our components, pretty much drawing inspiration from how Unity and Meta handle things, and crafted components that would handle hands, elbow, twist, and joint animations. We had issues, again, with when you twist arms into a certain degree, they would collapse. Because of how the hands are, sometimes you would have, not like motion sickness, but you would realize, you know, like it would break the immersion that your hands are larger or smaller because your fingers can't touch each other or you can't just clap. You would see that gap in your hands, and it would make you feel that, you know, like the hand tracking is just not there yet. And it is such a thing. What we had to deal with was also, because of the game's nature, some people might use hand tracking and some might use controllers. And we had to real-time switch from one to another. The demos we did back in the time, it was always controllers are controlling the elbows, and hands just have animation states. Either it's closed, it's thumbs up, that's all. We never worked with hand tracking before. And this also had us learn more about that, fix the issues, and move on. And which is kind of related to the next presentation, next page, but we also had to rework our hands on our characters. We have, Ready Player Me has its own art style, and pretty much our avatars come in standard body shapes and all. One of the problems we had, again, was with the hands, that their sizes were larger compared to how they should be in VR. Every time we were using it, hands, like in video games, you do not really notice that, but when it's just in front of your face, you feel like this is not my hand. And we had to do some surgical operation to test things out. Unity had very nice hand models, and they didn't have a full body sample, for example. They had a very good hand tracking sample. Our artists took their hands, stitched onto our body. We rigged and skinned everything according to how it should feel and look, and tested things on it, and reworked our hands according to it. At the end, we had hands just looking natural and working fine. Even we had to add some details to them, which I'm going to mention now. Ready Player Me provides multiple level of detail of characters, outfits. So in your game, depending on the game's quality, either it's top-down, you do not need to see much detail. You can configure the textures, meshes, quality, even the bone structure. And in this case, we were falling short because we never had to deal with a game that you can see your hands and arms that close. Even in first-person shooters, you have a weapon which takes most of the attention, and hands are almost partially visible, so it wasn't causing so much trouble to us. But this time, hands and arms are the most important part of it, and we had to pay extra attention to it. Just like how we were dealing with the rigging, we had to automate the systems to make the hands and arms of the outfits more detailed. When the bones are twisting, the mesh wouldn't collapse, textures wouldn't look awkward, and we would be able to show all the details as much as possible, even though we are not paying attention to the rest of the body. So that kind of led us to have different level of textures for the arms and the rest of the body. And we had to, like I said, stitch higher detail hands, a little higher detail arms, and rest of the body would just stay the same. And we had to automate this process to apply these changes on top of all our outfits that existed in our catalog. And all this came together, almost 6 months of work with Ubisoft, back and forth. Just yesterday, the game was released. So far, we didn't get any numbers, but I was able to see in the Quest market, like it has, I think, 4.5 stars, lots of comments, and everybody's happy with how avatars are working. And I just want to show you how they did the integration. So in the game, Ready Player Me avatar creator pretty much looks like this. This is the way they wanted to integrate. You can see like 2D plate-like avatar creator, and your 3D avatar is pretty much, getting out of it. It's, like a 3D and 2D all together in a card-like system you can carry around. You can pick different category items, dress your character, pretty much show your style in the dance game the way you want, and bring this character into the game and play with your friends. And one of the most valuable part of Ready Player Me is that due to the interoperability of these characters, if you do have a Ready Player Me avatar in some other game that you already dressed, you bought items, put on top of your character, you can bring that character into the game and use it. Or the character you create in Just Dance can go into other Ready Player Me integrations. This whole ecosystem is available right now, out there free for any developer to use. And of course, big integrations like this just need extra care to get the most impact possible. And we have been working on it, and just yesterday, the release happened, and so far, so good. We are checking feedback to figure out what we can do better. So I was able to finish a little early. This was pretty much it. Thank you so much for listening, and if you do have any questions, I might take that maybe later after the panel, or whenever you like. You can reach me out from LinkedIn and Twitter. Yeah.
Thanks so much.